love a fat bass. I'm gonna show you how to make this fat bass. Big thumpy kick. Depends on your samples. If you've got good samples, then you'll always have a good kick and it's processed okay already. If it's not good, I'm just going to show you this is how you can make your kick a little bit better, but it's usually better to go with an actual clean sample, which I'm making some samples which you might be able to support me through later.
What do you mean by that?
Know if you guys want to grab some samples from me, and I'll be making a sample pack. So we want to make it a little bit more nasally and actually let other frequencies pass through in the like 400 to 1K range. And so we always put a little dip inside around where there's 500 hertz, and then I'll add a little bump. I'm not going to make it too resonant. Afterwards, saturation, and this tells the saturation what to do by putting the EQ8 before the saturation. Now it's been told it doesn't need to saturate the 500 hertz range, but it needs to saturate the 100 hertz range, and that's where that's where the full body of the kick will be. So a little bit of soft sine saturation. Whatever, doesn't matter, that's just for the drop. Overdrive as well. I only set this to 80%, but dynamics to 100%. And that's it for the kick. As long as you've got a good kick, it really doesn't matter. But then I'll add another layer. And so this is just like a mid layer for the kick as well. And the actual MIDI is not played on the kick. I find that it kind of gets drowned out with the kick because the kick click is so loud, it's so full that you don't want anything to be played on that. You actually want it to be played a little bit in front of the kick, and I'll show you why. This is without it, and this is with it. So to make any click, it's about being unique and having something that's quite dissimilar. You don't need to use like a hi-hat or something. I'm just using... We'll be clipping if you don't set the output to -7. Also put the bass negative, and then EQ it where you think it needs to be. Every sample will be different depending on where it needs to be. So like, I don't really like this click, but I really like the mid-range that it gave. And see, it's really resonant. That's how I use my ears. Use my ears to reduce that. And then reverb. I don't have any reverb on it, although it does sound kind of good. It can sound. Okay, so now let's get to the bass. I know this is what you've been waiting for. Yes, we love a fat bass. I'm going to show you how to make this fat bass. Get your saw wave. And you've got your sine wave. Sine wave is the most pure, and that usually has the most sub in it. And also the process that we're going to do is probably going to be removing a little bit of the bass as well. So you set your frequency, MSR2, around the 1K threshold, and then decay. Around 500 hertz. So in your filter drive, this is what's attached to the MSR2. You don't want to be crunching it too much, but you want to have around like a 2-3 dB gain. And then in the shaper, so this is a little trick that operator has, and it's actually quite a cool trick. You can change things to make really unique basses. So like, let me show you without the effects. I like the soft shape, but I don't want to be shaping it too much. Set the dry weights around 50%. You filter your frequency. You want to be attaching that to this envelope here. I said this around 100 envelope. It doesn't really matter because we're going to be EQing out with this auto filter later. So there's need a little bit of work with EQing. A little bit below the 100 hertz range, and then in the 100 hertz range, that's where the kick is. So I'm just going to dip that just for the kick to breathe. It's already got enough subby frequencies going on. And then around the 500 hertz range, I want to increase it, and then give it a little bit of a dip afterwards. It's all just preference. It's all like musical taste, what you really like. Saturation. At this point, you know, I'm gonna freaking slap a saturator on every channel at this point because it's actually so important. Medium curve, I want a little bit of distortion in that output. Set that to -2, and then in the bass, you see how much of a difference that makes. And then auto filter sets a little bit resonant, so it gives it a little bit of a bump again. And so now I've reduced most of the high end, but I like this bass to be quite present in the mix, and that's what most of their songs usually are, very present in the mix. So I'll set a little bit of redux just for some downsampling. So it's around 9k hertz. So you can see I've actually added a little bit of automation. This adds a little bit of groove and a little bit of dimension to your tracks as well. See? So on the turnaround of every bar, so I've got this increase where it goes zip, zip, like a little zip, zip. I like the zip zip a lot actually. And compressor, I just sidechained this to this channel that's not on. You know. Okay, so now this information that I'm giving you is not free. It's gonna cost you a like and a subscribe. You can use the project file link below. It's a free download as always because I got you, and this is all only in Ableton. The only third-party plugin that I used was Wider, and you can get that one for free as well. So this Ableton project file wasn't really meant to be a full song this time. It was only just meant to be a few ideas and a few melodies. I've also got some of the MIDI files also in there and the wavetable racks in there